If you have been sculpting in Blender for a while, whether it's maybe just a couple months, maybe it's just you just started yesterday, or maybe it's been like a year, and you find that your characters look off, or whatever your sculpts aren't getting to a point where you're not actually fully happy with them, then you're not alone. Most people think if I've just found that one tutorial about that one course, I put in that one practice session, it's going to get me to that point. But that's just not how it works. The reason you're not improving is probably just because you're not practicing properly and not getting to the point that you need to with those practice sessions. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 of the biggest mistakes and how to fix them. Let's start with point number 1. To fully get you to understand this point, I'm going to start out just with a story. Back in the day, I used to do art classes, maybe once or twice a week. But in those art classes, we got set to do this painting. And I decided to paint a cheetah. So I got this nice little reference. I'm like, cool, I'm going to sculpt this, whatever. And I got my canvas, got my reference, and I drew it. Wasn't very happy with it. And my teacher came and she went, hey, let's try this. We flipped the canvas upside down, flipped my reference upside down, and then got me to do my rough sketch that way. And I went through, I did that. I'm like, this is kind of stupid. Why am I painting my whole thing upside down? But I went through, I did it, and it ended up with a really nice drawing. Now, that wasn't just my drawing skills, that was because what I was doing wrong was focusing on the mental image of what I was trying to sculpt. I had the idea of a cheetah in my mind, and that's what I was trying to draw. And I wasn't focusing on the actual shapes. I wasn't properly observing what I was trying to draw. I was just going off of the idea I had in my mind. Now, the reason I tell you the story is because you are probably running into a similar thing where your mind just lies to you with your reference. Now, even if you're not sculpting with a reference, then that's another thing in itself. But you need to be using your observation skills. And if you don't have those skills, you need to build them, because that is one of the biggest things that have helped me in my journey and actually been able to improve, is having the ability to observe what you need to be creating, but also that observation also helps in terms of knowing how to improve and knowing what you're doing wrong. So the first thing you need to do is spend more time actually observing and building that skill. Now, luckily, because of all those art classes and those years, I built up that observation skill, and it has reaped huge dividends throughout my whole process. If I'm working on a project, I can see problems that people are running into before they can, like so easy. I'm working on an animation with one of my classmates, and I immediately, when he showed this to me, I'm like, you need to fix this, this, and this. And he went, I literally can't even tell what you're talking about. So what I did is I went through, I showed him how to fix it, and then he literally still couldn't even see it. So then what I went and did is I showed him before and after, and he went, oh wow, I can see it now. It's like he just wasn't fully looking at his reference. I don't think he even had reference, that's whatever. But he couldn't even look at his own work in a sort of way that would allow him to see what he was doing wrong, because he didn't have that observation skills. So learning how to actually observe your own work, your reference, is such a huge skill. And I think it's a very underrated skill. I've never really heard anyone say that you need to get better at observation to get better at art. I don't know about you, but I've never heard anyone say that. Like, they just go, oh, here's this little hack that will help you sculpt better. No one goes, oh, you need to fully go and look into your reference and build up that skill of reading the images in your reference board. But how do you actually go and build up the skill, but also implement it into your own process? firstly, you need to be sculpting with reference. Like, it's just a non-negotiable of, as I said, your brain's going to lie to you. No matter, like, you, especially if you're just starting out, you're probably not going to have that skill. Like, you may think you do. You may be like, oh no, but this doesn't apply to me. But it probably does. Everyone, like, if you look at any good artist, they're going to be using reference. Like, Disney animators, if they're doing like a new project, they would literally go like find reference. They'll bring real life animals into their studios so that they could study how people moved, like how these animals would move. Like, they would literally go to that point where they would go get real animals into their studio to see how it works in the real world. A lot of the stuff that we're trying to do is either one, just from the real world, or two, is based in the real world. So like, that's going to be a reference that you can go find. So go, firstly, get PureRef. It's a free software. It's amazing. I literally have it open on my second monitor right now with my reference. And your second thing, Pinterest. I think that's one of the best kind of things I've found for gathering reference, especially when it comes to getting concept art and that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of it is becoming more and more of just AR slop, but that is the world now. I think there's like Cosmos or something like that people talk about. Or like, if you want to find other stuff, you can also look at sites like ArtStation if you want to just find actual art pieces, Instagram, etc. So whatever you're getting your reference from, build that board. And you're not just going to get, like, if you're sculpting or something, don't just get the reference of just your character. Also find those extra stuff, those anatomy, the lighting, all the different stuff that would actually go into your project. Make sure to get those different angles, different styles, etc., so that you actually have all the reference you need for your project. And before you start sculpting, actually analyze it. So if you need to build up that observation skill, go through, see the shapes, like try go over your reference and look at the volumes, because literally everything you're sculpting is just a volume. So see if you can analyze, like, is this a flat plane? Is this going to be a curved area? Like, is this part curved? This part is flat? That sort of thing. Like, analyze each section of that to see, like, can you build up like a geometric version of what you're sculpting on that reference. Like, literally PureRef allows you to draw on top of your images. I don't even know how the software still exists. It's free. I don't know if there is a paid version. I've never found a paid version, but yeah, if you don't have PureRef installed, you're kind of just stupid at this point. But yeah, so go through, annotate on top of your images, and that's going to allow you to get better at that observation, and the reference is just going to make you a better sculptor. Be like, if you're not sculpting with reference, then you're just stupid, like, at that point. Okay, so now that you are actually sculpting and you're trying to be better with each one, like going through, trying to study your reference and try, like, make those things. The second thing you need to do is, and it will literally just stop you from improving if you don't do it, is get feedback in your work. Now, this can be in many different forms. If you don't have people to actually give you good feedback, and like, getting good feedback is really important. Like, at this point, I would rather have absolutely zero people telling me, like, how to do my software, how to improve that side, and just have people giving me feedback. Like, you're not going to learn by following a tutorial. You're going to learn by actually getting feedback on what you need to improve. Now, that feedback can be in two things. As I said, it can either be from someone, firstly, like, most of the people that are going to give you good feedback are going to be better than you. And if they're not better than you, it's just they need to firstly have that observation skill. They need to be able to, like, look at your reference, look at your sculpt, be knowledgeable, because they need to actually, like, know what you need to do right and wrong, to actually be able to get you good feedback. Now, this is very difficult to have. A lot of people give very bad feedback. Like, a lot of people just come by and be like, yeah, good work, whatever. It's because it also takes time to give good feedback. but you need to have that skill, and you need to have the skill of feedback as well. So it's going to be quite rare that you get that. And that's why I'm hopefully going to be releasing a school community soon. Essentially, I just want to build a community of people focused on giving each other feedback and all just trying to improve, so that you can get proper feedback from different people. But yeah, let me know if you would be interested in that. But if you don't have that community, if you can't find anyone to give you good feedback, then you have to be the feedback. You have to be the one that's being introspective. You have to, like, firstly, it's that observation skills. You have to step back from your work, not be attached to it, and be like, how can I improve this? Like, once you're done, it does help if you just take some time away from it. But even just the like process of it is step back, look at it, and be like, what's wrong with this? What can I improve? And write that down. So see what you can do to improve. Don't like go back and try to retroactively fix it. Unless that's part of your process. Like some of the projects I work on, I will literally go through and like sit back and be like, what do I have to fix now? Because if I'm not going to get the feedback I want, because I don't currently have like a really good system of mentors or whatever to give me feedback. But if I'm on a project and I need to make it good, like I just have to sit there and every so often be like, step back and look and be like, not work on it, not just because like when I'm sculpting, you're not actively looking for mistakes or anything like that. So if you spend when you're working, you're not going to be giving good feedback to yourself. So you need to take that like time away, step away, then give yourself good feedback. And that's the only way that really works if you're going to do it for yourself, is like being very intentional with it. And again, that observation skill. Now, having good feedback is like an analogy for it I came up with is essentially this is your base like skill. Like in terms of, if you think of a game, this is your base mult in terms of like, if each time you practice, you're adding like +1 skill, then increase it, like doing better feedback and what you can improve on can make it like +3 of how much like skill you gain each time, or how much better your sculpts get. And then it goes on to the third point, which is essentially the way that you can multiply that. Instead of adding plus mult in terms of doing it, it's your times mult, which is your repetition. Now, if you are sculpting every day, but don't have that base like improvement, like if you're not being intentional with your sculpts and you're not intentionally trying to improve, get feedback, etc., then you're just wasting your time at that point. Like you're not doing anything useful with your time with that sculpts. But like you maybe will get like 0.1, you'll get plus 0.1 skill or sculpting skill. But if you fix those first things with the plus mult, then each time you sculpt, you're gaining 3 skill, whatever. Then once you've done that, you can't really get any more, like go any faster at learning. So what you have to do is up the repetition. The repetition is going to get you so much quicker, like so much better, so much quicker. And it's even sort of that thing of like, if you only sculpt once a week, but do it correctly, you may gain 4 skill. But if you do it every single day at the same quality, then you may gain even more. You may get like 5 skill, 6 skill each time you sculpt, just because of that repetition is going to allow you to improve more, just in terms of like you're gaining skill each time you sculpt, but then that repetition is going to get you even better each time that you do that, in terms of the amount that you can gain each session. So like for some people, they may not have the time to do it every single day or however much, but if you're like super serious about it and have that time, put in the work in terms of the amount of time that you spend sculpting, but also that repetition. because you probably heard the thing of like, oh, 10,000 hours. And then also the pots analogy in terms of if someone said to you, sculpt one face in the next 30 days, and another person got told to sculpt 30 faces in the next 30 days. The person who's going to get told to do 30 face sculpts in the next month and does it correctly. I think this is one thing that people miss. People say that, but if you like actively are trying to improve, then that's where you get all that skill gain. You're not going to gain skill if you just sculpt 10 or like 30 awful face sculpts and never study any animation, never actually try to improve. You're not going to improve because you're making a little bit, but your like multiplier on top of that, or that base, like each time you sculpt, you're going to get 0.1 better, like times 0.1 or times 2. If you're only doing plus 0.1 each time, that doesn't grow you that much. But if you're doing plus 5 each time you sculpt, then that's going to compound and get like you're going to improve so much quicker. So one story I can kind of tell you is, I mean, literally with this channel itself. Basically, I posted a video yesterday, and then I kind of did it like I didn't do it that. I don't think it was that good, but I was taking that action of I wanted to make a new channel. I wanted to improve my speaking skills. I wanted to grow an audience of people that are like-minded who also want to improve the sculpting, etc., etc. But I posted that video, and then what I did, I watched it back. I watched it twice. So I sat down, watched it, and I'm like, I don't like this part of it. Like, it's kind of boring. Each point I went over, I was all over the place in terms of the topics. So I'd kind of go through, forget what I had gone over, what I hadn't gone over. And then I'd say one sentence on a topic that I should have expanded on. And then I just went on, and it was like, I could have spoken so much more about that and probably made it a more valuable video, but I didn't do that. But then now I can go, I need to improve on those things. So what I did, I wrote a script, and I was like, cool. So now I have an outline so that I'm not going to jump around, and I know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. So it's that sort of thing of, if you are intentional with how you can improve, that's going to be so much more useful than if you just kind of do the practice. I could post every single day and not get any better at making videos, or I could sit there and post, like I could do once a week and actively try to improve. I'll probably get better than a person who posts every single day, like by a little bit, but then I could do it every single day and go try to improve with each video, and I'm going to get more progress and get even better at speaking, and also I'm going to be sculpting every time, so my sculpts are going to get better, my speaking is going to get better, etc., etc. So you see how that repetition, but also doing stuff correct, is the way that you actually improve. All right, so there you go. That's my 3 different points on why you're not improving your sculpts. Yeah, it's quite a rough sculpt at the moment. I'll put a screenshot on screen of the finished thing or whatever. But, I mean, not bad for, I mean, I've literally been recording for like maybe 20 minutes. So, yeah, quite a rough sculpt, but yeah. Cool, hope you enjoyed. And yeah, go start practicing and improving your sculpts. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.